So the Indiana Fever have got their enforcer. They have got their enforcer for Caitlin Clark. And I'm not gonna lie.
You won't believe what just unfolded in the WNBA because it's not just about wins or losses anymore. It's about one rising superstar rewriting history while her team completely loses its grip. Yes, we're talking about Caitlin Clark, the rookie sensation turned headline machine who just shattered league records in her very first season. But while she's making history on the court, the Indiana Fever, they're falling apart behind the scenes in a whirlwind few weeks. Caitlin has gone from celebrated prodigy to lightning rod for controversy. She's racking up points, dropping dimes, breaking viewership records, but every step she takes forward seems to pull her team 2 steps back. Coaches clashing, locker room drama, veteran jealousy, media overload. The Fever's season is spiraling faster than anyone imagined. Eyewitnesses claim tensions are sky high within the organization. Sources say team meetings are turning heated. Players are walking out of practice. And one insider even alleged that a key player nearly demanded a trade after a heated sideline moment caught on camera. All while Caitlin continues to break barriers. With poise, charm, and that ice-cold jumper. Chaos. It's a building. Fans are divided. Some blame the team for not protecting their star. Others think Caitlin's quick rise is shaking up the team's fragile chemistry. And the media. They're loving every second of it. It isn't just a sports story. It's a full-on reality show wrapped in sneakers and sweatbands. So what really happened behind closed doors? Who's siding with who? And can the Fever survive the fame storm they didn't see coming? Stay locked in, because this story isn't just about basketball. It's about power, pressure, and a team on the edge of collapse. The Fever season was supposed to be different? The second Caitlin Clark signed that rookie contract, fans across Indiana and the entire country felt a shift. Ticket sales soared. Jersey orders crashed websites. Social media blew up. The franchise that had been quietly rebuilding for years was now suddenly the epicenter of wnba attention. And at the heart of it all was a 22-year-old with a killer crossover and a calm, almost defiant smile. But behind the hype, not everyone was smiling. Sources close to the team say that pressure started mounting from day one. Team staff were scrambling to meet media demands. Veteran players used to practicing in peace now had camera crews filming their drills. And Caitlin, she handled it like a pro, but not everyone appreciated her spotlight. It felt like the Caitlin show. One anonymous teammate allegedly vented to a reporter. And we were just background dancers. Things came to a head during the 3rd week of the season, after a blowout loss on the road. Caitlin had scored 34 points, nearly half the team's total, but cameras caught her walking off court alone, not celebrating, not even talking to her teammates. Some fans assumed she was just frustrated. Others saw something deeper. Then came the viral moment. During a timeout in a nationally televised game against Chicago, a courtside mic picked up a scuffle. It started with a heated exchange between Caitlin and another player, later identified as a seasoned guard known for her leadership. The audio wasn't entirely clear, but fans heard enough. "You think you run this team?" the veteran snapped. Caitlin didn't back down. "I just want to win." The silence that followed said it all. The clip hit the internet in seconds. Blogs posted it, fans debated it. And within hours, hashtags like #FeverFeud and #TeamCaitlin were trending. The divide was public now, and it wasn't going away. In the locker room, tensions boiled. Coaches tried to brush it off as competitive spirit, but insiders told a different story. One assistant coach reportedly warned management, saying, "We've got 2 different teams in one locker room." The rookies rallying around Caitlin's intensity. The vets feeling sidelined by her rising star. The next practice, icy. Drills were quiet. Passes were sharp, sometimes too sharp. Even post-practice interviews had an edge. "It's growing pains," the head coach told reporters. Every team goes through them. But not every team has cameras following every moment. Every team has the entire sports world watching for cracks. Caitlyn, for her part, stayed poised. In interviews, she praised her teammates. On social media, she posted nothing but game clips and thank yous to fans. But people noticed she stopped tagging certain teammates. Fans noticed she was always the last one out of the huddle. An eagle eye. Viewers caught more than one teammate refusing to celebrate after her. Buzzer-beaters. Then came the coach's decision that sent everything over the edge in a must-win game against the defending champions. The coach benched a longtime starter in favor of a rookie, one of Caitlyn's college-era friends. The move shocked fans, stunned analysts, and reportedly blindsided the player herself. She stormed out of the locker room postgame, didn't talk to the press, unfollowed the team on Instagram. And just like that, the Fever's internal drama spilled further into the public eye. This isn't about strategy, a former player tweeted. It's about power. And someone's clearly losing it. Meanwhile, Caitlyn kept delivering triple doubles, clutch threes. She was now leading the league in rookie scoring and had already broken a record for most assists in a single game. But the more she shined, the more fractured the team looked. One insider claimed that even film sessions were tense. There's a clear line in the room, they said. Some players barely speak to each other anymore, and the staff's afraid to take sides. Fans didn't help either. During home games, the crowd roared for Caitlyn and barely reacted to other player. Intros, some fans wore shirts that read Team Clark. Others booed when certain players subbed in. It was no longer just a game, it was theater. It's messy, dramatic, emotional theater. The media ran wild, Fever in flames. Asked one headline, "Can Caitlyn save this team before it explodes?" Teased another. But as the spotlight grew hotter, cracks started forming in places no one expected. Caitlyn's longtime trainer reportedly quit, said the schedule was unsustainable. A close friend posted a cryptic tweet about people changing when cameras turn on, and then a leaked email from a team staffer hinted at internal conflict affecting morale and travel planning. And just when things couldn't get more chaotic, they did. An anonymous tip sent to a sports blogger revealed that one of the team's assistant coaches had reportedly offered to resign, citing toxic dynamics and star favoritism. The blog didn't name names, but fans connected dots fast. Within hours, social media turned its fury toward the coaching staff. "You've got a generational talent." One fan tweeted, "And y'all are fumbling it." Others defended the vets, saying the franchise owed them more respect. And some blamed management for creating an unstable structure. One thing was clear, everyone had an opinion, and no one was backing down. But while the noise got louder, something else happened. Something that might change everything. A private team meeting. No coaches, no press, no staff. Just players. No one knows exactly what was said in that room, but one source described it as raw, painful, necessary. And when the team emerged, their faces were unreadable. But in the next game, something changed. Whatever happened in that closed-door meeting, it lit a different kind of fire. The next time the Fever hit the court, fans noticed something almost unsettling. Not because of how they played, but because of how quiet it all felt. There were no playful warm-ups, no group huddles, no in-game laughs. Everything felt clinical, mechanical, like they were showing up to do a job and only. But despite the icy chemistry, the Fever won. And not just by a little. They dominated. Caitlyn dropped 28 points. The rookie who had replaced the veteran in the starting lineup had 19. Even the bench players chipped in with hustle plays that sent the crowd roaring. It looked on the surface like the Fever were finding their rhythm again. But insiders saw something else: survival mode. They weren't playing for each other, one scout told a podcast later that night. They were playing to prove something. And when ego starts driving a game, it either clicks or combusts. Off the court, tensions were still simmering. The benched veteran hadn't returned to post-game interviews. Another player known for her team-first attitude liked a tweet that read, "Sometimes being quiet doesn't mean you're okay. It means you're watching." And then came the injury. During a tense rematch against a top-seeded rival, a hard foul sent Caitlin crashing to the hardwood. The arena went silent. Teammates rushed over, cameras zoomed in. For a moment, it felt like everything stopped. She grabbed her ankle, gritted her teeth, and waved off trainers. She stayed in the game, but the limp was visible. After the game, the coach called it a tweak, but fans weren't buying it. Slow-motion replays showed an awkward bend, and within hours, sports doctors on social media were speculating everything from a grade 2 sprain to a potential fracture. Panic set in. If Caitlin was injured, what would happen to the Fever? The season? The team's entire identity? But more importantly, how would the team respond? The answer came 2 days later in the most shocking press conference of the season. The head coach, visibly tense, stepped up to the podium and announced that Caitlin would sit out the next 2 games for precautionary reasons. No reporters were allowed to ask follow-up questions. But fans didn't need follow-ups. They needed answers, especially after Caitlin posted for the first time in days a single sentence. On her Instagram story, "Sometimes silence says more." Then stats fans immediately took it as a jab. But at who? The coaching staff, her teammates, the league. Speculation ran wild. The games without Caitlin, rough. The Fever lost both by double digits. Chemistry worse than ever. Passes were sloppy. Turnovers were high. And on the bench, Caitlin sat hoodie up, face blank. Barely speaking. Media narratives shifted fast. The Fever can't win without Clark. Has the team turned on its star? Injury or punishment? Sources suggest internal conflict. Rumors exploded when a fan account posted a blurry photo of Caitlin at practice, standing apart from the team during stretches. The caption read, "Lone Wolf." And that's when the whistleblower came forward. Ann, anonymous team insider believed to be a junior staffer, leaked a bombshell message thread to a sports blog. The texts allegedly revealed that there had been discussions among leadership about dialing back Clark's minutes to ease locker room tension. The messages described a divided team, with some players reportedly threatening to go public if the favoritism didn't stop. Fans were furious, not just at the organization, but at the idea that a star player could be punished for outshining others. "What are we doing here?" One analyst said on a live show. "Is the wnba here to grow or to be a gatekeeper?" Meanwhile, other players from rival teams began subtly chiming in. One tweeted, "Rookies earn their stripes, not spotlights." Fans connected the shade instantly. But the real moment of chaos came when Caitlin's college coach gave a surprise interview in a sit-down with a national network. The coach praised Caitlin's leadership, work ethic, and humility. But when asked about the tension in Indiana, she paused and said, "Some people aren't ready for the spotlight she brings." But the truth is, she didn't ask for it. She earned it. The quote went viral. Fans reposted it. Merch was printed with the line, "She didn't ask for it. She earned it." And just like that, the Fever was back under fire at the next game. A small group of fans held signs reading, "Let her play and protect Caitlin." Others booed during player intros, not at the opponent, but at their own team. It was unprecedented. The Fever is gone again. And then came the most chilling development of all. Caitlin disappeared. No practice footage, no interviews, no tunnel walks, no social media posts. She was listed as day-to-day on injury reports, but behind the scenes, insiders said she had stopped speaking to certain teammates altogether. The once hopeful rookie season had spiraled into something dark, tense, and uncertain. But just as the fanbase was reaching full meltdown mode, a source dropped another bombshell. The wnba commissioner had reportedly contacted the Fever's front office directly, not about gameplay, but about internal cultural concerns and player protection standards. As soon as word leaked that the WNBA commissioner had reached out, the Fever organization went into lockdown mode. Media access was slashed, press availability canceled. Even the team's usually active social accounts went eerily quiet. Fans sensed it, something was brewing, and not the good kind. Behind closed doors, sources say emergency meetings were held with everyone from coaching staff to PR teams. The phrase damage control was reportedly tossed around more than once. And the reason? The commissioner's office had one major concern: player welfare specifically. It's the welfare of Caitlin Clark, while the league had celebrated her record-breaking stats and skyrocketing jersey sales. Whispers had been swirling for weeks that the Indiana locker room had become toxic, with an undercurrent of resentment that could no longer be ignored. Several insiders had allegedly filed quiet complaints about the handling of team dynamics. Now, the league wanted answers, but the real twist came when Caitlin broke her silence. She dropped a 6-minute video. No media outlet. No fancy graphics. Just her sitting in what looked like a guest room, hair in a bun, eyes tired but focused. The title, The Truth from Me. "I didn't come to the W," she began, expecting to be liked. "I came to compete." She went on to say that while she respected her teammates, not everyone has to be friends, but everyone does have to want to win. She admitted that the pressure had been intense, the spotlight overwhelming, also hinted at deeper issues. "I've taken hits, physical and otherwise," she said. "But the hardest ones come when they're from people standing next to you, not across from you." The internet lost its mind. Every outlet ran with the story. Clark speaks out. Star rookie confirms internal drama. Fever meltdown. Officially exposed. But the part that struck fans most? When she said, "I'm not asking for special treatment, I'm asking for honesty." And if that's too much, maybe we all need to ask why. With over 10 million views in the first day, the video changed everything. Even fans who had doubted her started shifting. Public sentiment began leaning harder in her favor. And the pressure on the team, unbearable. Within 48 hours, the Fever announced that 2 assistant coaches were transitioning out of their roles. No explanation, no press conference. Just gone. Analysts were stunned. "You don't clean the house mid-season unless something serious goes down," one said. Fans speculated that those coaches were part of the problem, enabling or even escalating the internal drama. But the purge wasn't over, because days later was revealed that a private mediator had been brought in by the franchise to conduct one-on-one interviews with players and staff. The goal: identify the root of the toxic culture, fix it before it destroyed the entire season and maybe Clark's future with the franchise. Meanwhile, rival players began circling like sharks. An anonymous star on a West Coast team reportedly told a friend she never last in Indiana, but she'd fit in over here just fine. That comment made it to a gossip site, and soon trade rumors began to swirl, even though Clark was still on a rookie contract. Fans started tweeting mock-up jerseys with Clark in different team colors. Some begged her to stay, others begged her to leave. One viral post read, "Save yourself, Caitlin. This ain't the team." And then came the game that changed everything. Caitlin returned to the court, ankle-wrapped, face stone-cold, energy different. The Fever were facing the league's top team. Analysts predicted a blowout, but instead they got into a battle. Caitlin exploded for 37 points, 11 assists, 7 rebounds, 4 steals, and one furious game-winning three-point shot at the buzzer. She didn't celebrate. She didn't even crack a smile. She walked straight to the tunnel, tossed her towel to a kid in the crowd, and disappeared. The arena lost its mind. Analysts called it the coldest walk-off in wnba history. The highlight ran on every sports show, and in that moment, even her critics had to admit the girl was unstoppable. But back in the locker room, silence. No hugs, no high fives, few fist bumps, but the tension was still there. A reporter asked her about team chemistry. Caitlin just said, "We played hard." But someone else spoke up, and fans didn't see it coming. A veteran player, the same one who'd allegedly clashed with Caitlin weeks earlier, gave a surprising post-game interview. "Look, we're all figuring it out," she said. "It's a new team, new era, a lot of noise. But what did you see tonight? That's who we are. Even if we're still working through the rest." Was it a truce? A warning? No one knew. But the next day, things shifted again. The Fever released a joint team statement, a rarity. It read, "We recognize the challenges this season has brought. We are committed to moving forward as a united team, guided by mutual respect and a shared goal to win." Generic? Sure. But the subtext, things were bad. Now they're trying to fix it. The commissioner released her own statement, praising Caitlin for her courage and commitment to excellence despite adversity. It was the league's way of confirming she was the future, and they were standing behind her. But then, the past came knocking. A former college teammate, someone who had played alongside Caitlin during her record-breaking NCAA run, gave an unprompted interview, and what she said sent shockwaves through the league. "Caitlin's not the problem," she said. "She never was. The problem is people don't like watching a young woman win unapologetically. She's not loud, she's just good." And that threatens a lot of people. Fans erupted again. That interview trended for days. And now the narrative has flipped. Caitlin Clark wasn't just the rookie phenom. She was the center of a generational shift on just like that. What started as a season of hope spiraled into a headline-dominating spectacle no one saw coming. Caitlin Clark didn't just break records, she shattered expectations, challenged locker room norms, and forced an entire league to reckon with what it means to be a rising superstar in a world still adjusting to her kind of greatness. From icy sidelines and whispered shade to buzzer beaters and league-wide reckonings. This wasn't just about basketball. It was about identity, pressure, and the growing pains of becoming a legend in real time. Fans watched as Caitlin went from smiling rookie to hardened competitor, and somewhere in that chaos, she reminded us all that greatness comes at a price, and she's more than willing to pay it. But with every win comes another wave of scrutiny. With every quiet walk-off, another layer of speculation. The Fever may be finding their footing again, but behind those closed doors, the story isn't over. Tensions don't vanish with a game-winning shot. And healing, well, that takes time and honesty. So now we turn it over to you. Do you think Caitlin Clark is being unfairly targeted? Or is this just the pressure that comes with superstardom? Should the Fever have handled things differently behind the scenes? And what does all of this say about the wnba's future and how it supports or fails its brightest stars? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We're watching, we're reading. We want to hear from you. And if you live for the drama behind the scoreboard, the untold stories, and the moments that shake the culture, hit that like button. Smash subscribe, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss another twist, not another truth, or another legend in the making. Because of this, it's just the beginning.